How socks are made. This is an antique sock machine. This one was made in England in the early part of the 20th century, and it can turn this into these, which is something of a miracle, I think. I always start my socks with a rib, and I have to transfer stitches from the cylinder needles to the ribber needles before we can start. There are 40 stitches to transfer across before we start knitting the cuff of the sock. And here we are, knitting a 1 by 1 rib to start the sock off. After I've done a certain number of rows, I then transfer into 7 and 1. It varies a little from sock to sock, it depends on the style. But for this one I'm using 7 and 1. And I knit all the way down the ankle. I take out the remaining ribber needles, and for this style of sock I'm going to be knitting the foot in plain stocking stitch. And the first thing to do is to knit the heel. And I do this by shaping narrower and narrower rows across the heel of the sock, and then we go wider and wider, so it produces a taper at the heel of the sock which shapes it and produces the turn. And when we've done the heel, we knit the foot, and then we do exactly the same thing for the toe of the sock. When we've produced something off the machine, the first thing we have to do is take out the separator thread, which produces a nice edge like this. And then I have to join the toe by hand grafting it. So there's a fair bit of hand stitching involved, but it produces a beautiful neat edge, as you can see from the inside. You'll see the outside here. You get a totally seamless sock, and each sock contains only one length of wool from the start to the finish. Hard wearing, comfortable and warm.